Hey guys, it's Bonnie from Dwelling Logs. I just wanted to come on here and give you guys a little bit of a 1 week update. We've tweaked a few things, how our week went. I wasn't planning to do weekly vlogs like I was in the spring, but it just helps me process. And also I'm like, ooh, I said something last week and I changed it. So I kind of want to let you guys know what I changed. So I'll kind of go over that. I can show you guys a few of the school supplies that I got for the kids and kind of how we did that this year. To give some ideas, and we'll just update you completely. So, two things that I completely forgot last time. I actually posted on Instagram the day after I posted on YouTube because I showed you guys my term schedule, which is great. These pages are from my feast planner. My feast planner is free on my website. It's a great way to plan. It works for my brain. I'm really pleased with how I found some way that would work. I've never thought of myself as a schedule person before this, but these 2 pages make it work really well. I showed you guys this last week, and then I read this Charlotte Mason quote. I'm going to paraphrase maybe because I'm not sure if I'll get it right, but it was something to the effect of, there is no education without nature. And I didn't have nature study on here. There's no nature study. So I've added that in on Mondays. We will organically have nature study through being outside, especially in the fall before the winter comes. So nature study happens anyways, but I would like an intentional nature study time on our schedule, specifically to work on nature journaling skills. I think that there's a lot of ways to appreciate nature and to study nature without nature journaling. I don't think it's essential. However, I really want us to build the skills to be able to nature journal, to like nature journaling. And I think the better that my kids are at some of those skills like sketching and painting and observing and knowing what kinds of questions to ask yourself to fill your journal page, I think those skills will help them enjoy it more. So that's something that I want to focus on Mondays. The other thing that I completely forgot was to add in music studies. I have my artist, I have my poet, and I didn't pick a musician for our term. And so we have been listening to Beethoven all last week. Beethoven is our man of choice for this term. Our plan is to basically just listen and absorb his music when we can, at home, in the car, in the background of things, as well as I'm going to be going to the library and keeping my ear to the ground for different bio resources specifically on Beethoven and stuff, so we can learn a little bit about him. But it's mostly just about taking this whole term and intentionally listening to Beethoven, hopefully, as Charlotte Mason would want, hopefully enough that if my kids hear Beethoven on the radio or in a store or at a concert somewhere, that they would say, oh, I know the composer. So that is the hope. Last year we did, who did we do? We did a little bit of Tchaikovsky, and we did for spring Mozart. So Beethoven was a natural choice. Okay, so that is going on. The other thing that we are tweaking. Okay, so just to back up here a little bit. These are the 2 pages that I use and look at every day. And this is basically my weekly routine. And this is all the details for the term. So as you can see, the details for the term go by week. And as you can see, week 1, it's like all crossed off because it's Monday in week 2 right now. So we have all this crossed off because we completed all of our work that we planned to do last week. So that was fun. And then this one is an actual schedule. And I've never been a schedule girl, like where it's like 6 a.m., whatever, but I did it. I went last year, I did half-hour blocks. This year I did 20-minute blocks. And I need to tweak some things because there's a few things that don't have enough time. I did give us 2 blocks for Latin, which is good. Latin is heavier than I thought. We're doing Latin for Children Primer A. And I shouldn't say it's heavier than I thought. When I looked at it, I knew it would be heavy. But it's heavy time-wise and brain-wise, kind of like math. So I don't want to just give that 1 20-minute block. So I gave it 2. Math has 2 blocks, but I have them separated because the Latin blocks kind of need to go together. The lesson kind of flows together. Math, sometimes it's exhausting to do too much back to back. I forgot to say that one of the things, I think I mentioned it last week, but one of the things that I wanted to do at the beginning of the year, I wanted to do a slow start. So we have not been doing math and we have not been doing grammar. I was like really pleased with ourselves at the end of last week thinking like, wow, like we're just getting through our subjects so quickly. And then I realized, oh, we haven't actually been doing our narration. Charlotte Mason was new to us last term. Really getting into things like true narration is still a muscle that we're flexing and exercising. So we need to go through, I would like to do another week, still without math and grammar, focusing on doing our work with narration, and then letting that settle, and then I will add in math and grammar later. But I wanted to splice in here that we actually have been starting off the year with no math and grammar to start, just to ease us into the routine and get us used to homeschooling and our routine again. So I have them separated by some other subjects. If you can tell, math is like kind of in the light yellow, Latin is dark yellow. So I need to expand math for another block, or sorry, not math. Let's keep going. It's dinosaurs. We're doing Gather Round Dinosaurs, and 20 minutes isn't enough. 20 minutes is enough probably for just the teacher's guide if we were just reading through the teacher's guide, but I also want time to go through the student notebooks, and I also want a little time for like questions and rabbit trails if we have any. So I need to give Gather Round Dinosaurs another block in here, which is going to bump everything down by 20 minutes. So far, I think 20 minutes is good for our reading, but I may expand that on some. Some of it is quite heavy reading to get through some of the dinosaur books that we have. Some of them are textbook style, some of them are more storybook style, but the textbook style ones, there's a lot of reading, and we either need to be skipping more, or I need to just have break it up and have another reading chunk in the day. So we'll see. My mom was over today, and I told her when I left, I had an appointment, and I said, you don't have to, but if you want to, we have to read these pages in this book today. And when I got home, she was like, yeah, we stopped because like there was some really big words. It was boring, she said. So I was like, okay, noted. My kids haven't complained, but maybe they're just being compliant. That was the Dire Dragons book. And that is quite, like that could be an adult book. But I really believe in a mix of book challenges, and I want to read, I always want to at least have some material that I'm reading that is above my kids' level, above where I think that they're at. Because I think too often we like to try to either match their level and we underestimate them, or sometimes we read below their level. And I know for myself, I like to be challenged, and my brain can exercise itself when I listen to challenging books, and I can start to understand, even though I might not at the beginning. A few years ago, I read The Trial and Death of Socrates, and when I started that book, I was like, oh my goodness, like this is a lot. Is this a waste of my time? I'm just like listening to gibberish. But as I was listening to it on audio, and as I was listening through it, my brain started exercising with it, and I started picking up more and more and more and more, and I ended up really liking the book. And I hope understanding quite a lot of it. It is quite deep. But just as an example, though, of how we may know our kids aren't at this place, but we don't know if we're reading to them just a little bit beyond that, if they might just grasp on and come along for the ride. So I'm excited, and that's kind of my opinion, I guess. Is opinion the right word? My theory on reading to your kids. So having a mix of materials, some going above where you think that they're at and ready for, and try to keep it fun, right? So that is kind of the stuff that I want to tweak and change on our schedule. Everything else has been going really well. We have a week under our belt. I've been loving how we're doing Bible time. Actually, I'll show you guys. So on our schedule, we have Monday, we do a New Testament for our Bible. Tuesday, we have Old Testament. Wednesday, we have Bible quizzing, because my oldest joined a Bible quizzing team, so our memory plan has totally changed. And Thursdays, we read a psalm. And then I don't have a plan for Saturday or Friday and Saturday, because we have so many Bible resources and things that we like to add in and throw in, and things that I find that last year I found that if I planned every day too much, it was really difficult to sneak some of these other things in without feeling like we're doing so much Bible all day long. So I like the idea of just planning 4 days a week, even though hopefully we are in the scriptures all the time, every day. But the New Testament, and that's just reading, just New Testament, Old Testament. I am using the chronological Bible reading plan from, what's it called? the Bible recap. I went and got their chronological plan, and we've been using those passages to decide what we are reading day to day. But something I've added in that we've really enjoyed is we're watching all of the videos from, or I shouldn't say all of them, but all of the graphic explanation videos from the Bible Project for both the Old and New Testament overviews and the book overviews. So when we started with our Old Testament, we colored in a bit of the Old Testament page, the area that we were going to be starting in. Now, if you've never looked at or watched a Bible Project video, the ones where they do the books of the Bible, they kind of have this graphic video that draws all of this that you see while they explain the overview. And it's really fun. I love the graphics. My kids love the graphics. The explanations are really clear. They're really well put together. And their website has free coloring sheets to download. You can buy them in a book where they're a little bit bigger. They're like a 2-fold opening book to color. But they're also free to download and print. So I did that. Here's our Genesis. So we're starting to read Genesis and our Old Testament day on Tuesdays. So we started that, as well as we will get into Job. I also did, well, there's our Psalms, because we do Psalms on Thursdays. And then here's our New Testament one. So the kids started coloring the New Testament. We watched this video. We also started in Luke, Matthew, Mark, and then Luke. So the kids started in Luke, so they colored a little bit of this. So we're going to kind of color as we go. So they have something to do with their hands while we're listening to either a Bible Project video, which is just something we listen to at the start of a new book, or sometimes we'll be reading right from Scripture at the table and they can color and listen, or sometimes I will need to put a load of dishes in or something, so I'll go to YouTube and I will find an audio version of the chapter of the Bible that we're reading. So that has worked really well, but I'm really appreciating the Bible Project videos to give an overview of what we're reading for both the Old Testament, New Testament, and each book. So that's been beneficial. And first year, we've done binders for my kids. I decided I would keep some records, keep some of the worksheets that they're doing. So we're basically just using the binders for that. And then I did shop our shelves for back to school supplies. I know I love back to school supplies, and I know as a kid that I loved getting them every year, but we don't always need it, and I really wanted to shop my shelves first. And what we usually have is this thing here. Just basically a cutlery holder, and it's just a community basket of all the things that it's worked really well. There's scissors, pencils, pencil crayons. We're not really a marker family anymore. We're pretty much all pencil crayons. That's what my kids enjoy. I don't even know where markers are. I do have some dry erase markers back here. So this is what we've always used, like this whole time. But this year, I did something a little different. I already had this container that was like a 3-container stackable. It's from Sterilite. And so what I did is I gave my kids each a compartment, and I got them to put some school supplies in it. Now, I did buy some school supplies, but I also went through and I got all the things in our shelf that we already had that were school supplies, things like scissors and that, and they still got them on the first day of school, and it still felt special. Even though we've had these scissors for 3 years, it was like, here, these are yours, put them in your box. So that part of it was still really exciting, and we didn't have to go buy all new stuff. There were a few new things. We did get some new pencils from Costco this year. It's our clicky style. I had these last year. These are little, I should find a link for these and put them below. They're kind of neat. We don't use them a ton, but we use them a little bit, especially for the younger kids. But they're just like these little primary lines. It's like a rolling stamp. They work better than that. They work a lot better than that. I just need a flat surface. Here, hang on. Let me show you. Do you see that one? See, it comes across really well. I feel like I didn't sell that very good. They work really well, and they give you a little primary line to print on. So I had 3 of them, so even though my oldest probably won't even use it, I just said, everyone put one in your box, and that was special. We had some little magnetic bookmarks that I got them last year, and I just got everybody to find theirs and put theirs in their box. I did get some new pens for each of them, pink for my girl, and then I got blue and green. These are actually from Temu. I'm not the biggest Temu fan, but they did have some really inexpensive school supplies. we will see how they hold up. I don't know. But they got some pens. Everybody got a protractor set because this is like the thing that we break every year for some reason. So we've already bought a couple, but we actually did need some more, or at least one more. But I got each of the kids one in their own color. So just having basically the gift of ownership of a little container of all your school supplies was kind of how we did our new school supplies for the kids this year. So that was fun. And I like the container. I think it's a good container. Have them all stacked together. Anyways, so that is kind of where we're at. Oh, the Bible quizzing thing. So we've joined the Canadian Midwest District. There's a church in our community that's just started a club, so we're going to try it. I think it's really good. So far, I think as long as it stays fun, then it's good. As long as it's not like, my only apprehension is if it becomes all about competition. I'm not loving the idea of the competition overshadowing just the importance of knowing God's word. However, the vibe that we've been getting is totally not that. It's been absolutely fun. The kids have been having so much fun together, inspiring one another. So if the kind of culture of the club is going to be like that, then we're in. So I'm really excited about that. And all of our Bible verses are kind of centering around Luke now, because that is what we're doing. I think last video I had changed my Bible verses from going the list I had last year to something that we were going to do for Bible. Oh, it was the ones that went with our dinosaur unit. I had listed a whole bunch of dinosaur verses. So we've switched that now. We've replaced them all with this. My oldest is learning 6 to 8 verses a week now with this, and I'll probably pick a verse or two from his list for the younger kids to memorize. So we're all doing things together as much as possible. Anyways, so that's kind of our update. I wanted to make this video just because it's helpful for me to talk about what things are happening. Also, hopefully it's encouraging to show that things are tweakable and changeable, and it's fun to do that too. Like, it's fun for me to customize things and say, oh, if we could do it better. And I don't want to be discontent, but I want to be really good and really trustworthy of our time. Trustworthy is not the word I'm looking for. Accountable, I suppose, with the time that we're spending. Not accountable. Good stewards of our time. That's what I was getting at. And, I was homeschooled K-12. This is my 7th year as homeschool mom, like intentional homeschool mom, because we started early with my oldest. And I just find that it's so neat to embrace where your kids are at, to customize things, to learn together, to be thankful for this life. And I think it's fun to see other people online sharing too, and to see when someone shares something and it's not always the be-all end-all, and they tweak and change it. So that's what's happening. It's like we're 1 week in, we're already changing things, and that's exciting too, I suppose. So anyway, that's our update. I'm not sure that I'll do weekly updates, but maybe if it's fun for me, then maybe I will. And hopefully this is encouraging to someone else as well. So I hope you guys are having a great start to your school year, and we'll see you next time.